Hello guys, LEGO Master Reviews here, and today I'll be doing a review on the LEGO Star Wars set 75389 The Dark Falcon. This set has 1,579 pieces and retails for $179.99 in the US. It is based off the Rebuild the Galaxy series, and you get 6 minifigures in total in this set, all of which being extremely unique, and the set itself is also extremely unique. So without further ado, let's jump right on into this review.
Excuse me!
The first minifigure we'll be taking a look at here is Darth Jar Jar, and the fact that this minifigure even exists is just mind-blowing to me, but he was very funny in the Rebuild the Galaxy series. He was a bit wasted in my opinion. I won't spoil what happened to him, but if you've seen the series, you know what I'm talking about. But regardless, a fantastic minifigure. I love the head mold a lot here. It's the normal Gungan one, but it looks great. And I love all the little bits of printing with like the little specks of orange and everything. And the eyes do look better in person on the box. They don't look like very bright and Sith-like, but I think they look pretty good in person, and I'm very glad there's actually pupils in them, since LEGO hasn't been doing that recently with Sith. You can see that Jar Jar has a fantastic front and back torso print, but sadly there is no leg printing included. I think that would have gone a long way, but we just don't get it here. But he does include a double-bladed lightsaber, because why not when you're dealing with the most powerful Sith Lord of all time? And he also includes a Booma from the Phantom Menace, I believe that's what it's called, and that's also a pretty cool accessory. And overall, this minifigure is just so funny to be getting. It's something I never thought we'd actually get, so it's so cool to see here, and it's definitely a must-have for a new LEGO Star Wars collection. Next up is Darth Rey, and while she's definitely not my favorite minifigure of the set, there's no denying that a lot of people have been wanting her for quite some time, so it's really nice to be getting her here. And I think this is a pretty solid minifigure for the most part, but I'm not a huge fan of the no pupils. It just is very inaccurate, and it just does not look good on her. Also, her teeth are not as sharp as they should be when you compare to how she looks in The Rise of Skywalker, so that's also a really bad inaccuracy. But she does have a really nice hood piece, and flipping the head around, you get a much more calm expression that covers up the inaccurate teeth print, so that is also very nice, and that's definitely an alternative to display her with. And her front torso printing is very detailed, as well as the back torso print, but sadly, once again, a minifigure does not have leg printing in this set, and I think that would have gone a long way for this figure as well, which is a shame. But still, I think this minifigure is pretty solid, and the accessory she includes is her like double-bladed lightsaber, and it's using the binocular piece here, which is like a thing a lot of custom makers have been doing for quite some time. So it's cool to like see that in an official set after all this time. You can see there's two blades inside that. And the build is a bit different in the actual show, I believe, but regardless, it's still a pretty cool accessory. And like I said, this definitely isn't my favorite minifigure of the set, but she's still really nice to be getting here. Next up is Darth Dev. I believe his full Sith name in the show is Darth Devastator, so that is pretty cool. But you can see that he's using the Cole hair piece from the Lego Ninjago movie, I believe, so that's pretty cool to be seeing in the Star Wars set. And the face print is also very detailed there, with like a piece of his eyebrow missing, as well as some like darkness around his eyes to resemble that he's a Sith. And the other side is much more calm, I guess, kind of being like before he turns into a Sith, so that's very nice. And the torso printing is extremely detailed there, with like a bit of red as well as some scratch marks, which is really cool. And there's printing on his left arm, which is also extremely detailed and very accurate to the show. I'm not quite sure why there's only printing on one of his arms. I don't think he even explains that in the show, but you do get that, and he also has a really nice back torso print. And overall, I love all the printing, especially on that arm. Darth Dev actually does include leg printing, and it looked really nice there with like some of the detail continuing down from the torso. You also get knee printing and even toe printing, so very detailed. And you can see that this minifigure includes a red lightsaber as his accessory, which is very nice. And overall, I wasn't a huge fan of this minifigure before I watched Rebuild the Galaxy, but after watching the series, I definitely appreciate him a little bit more, and he has some very nice prints. Next up is Bounty Hunter C-3PO, and this minifigure is extremely unique. It's a very interesting concept, and you can see that there is a bit of red printing inside of his head, which I don't believe we ever got like eye printing for C-3PO before, so that is very unique. And I love the back torso print as well. There was some wiring as well as this little bit more detail. You can also see the front torso print looks very nice, and he also includes some very detailed arm printing there on one side, and then on the other side you can see that he has a black arm with the exact same printing, but just like different colors. So that's very cool, and I just like how it makes him feel a bit more evil, and I think that's a fantastic print, and I'm really glad that it looks the same, but it's just in black with like different colors, so that's very cool. But sadly, this minifigure does not have the dual molded leg, which is so cheap on LEGO's part. For $180 said that should be included here, so that is by far the biggest flaw of this minifigure, and I really wish he would have had that dual molded leg with the side printing. Next up is the Big Lebowski, aka Beach Luke, and this minifigure is very groovy looking. He has some pretty interesting looking glasses, and he's using the Old Man Luke hairpiece got introduced for him, so that's very cool. And he has a second face print that's definitely not as interesting as the other one, but still nice to get nonetheless. The torso printing is extremely detailed there with the necklace that Anakin gave to Padme there, which is a great Easter egg, and the back torso print also looks amazing there with some Easter eggs at Tatooine, so I love that, and he definitely has one of the best torso prints in the set. He also includes some leg printing there with some hip printing as well as actual printing on the legs, and there's even toe printing, but you can't see his feet, just the sandals, so that's kind of weird. But regardless, it's nice to get a leg print. His accessory is a blue milk carton, but there's no printing on it at all, which really really sucks. Like for a $180 set, you would expect that, and it's just so cheap on Lego's part. Like how hard would it have been just to print on that? But regardless, the minifigure itself is amazing, and the torso printing alone is just so cool, and like all around, it's just a fantastic minifigure.
The dude abides.
Next up is Jedi Vader, and this minifigure is arguably the best of the set. It's just such a cool concept for a minifigure, and while this character was very underutilized in the show itself, I still think this is a fantastic looking minifigure. I love getting the Darth Vader helmet mold in white here. That's like something I never thought I'd see in an official set, so that's great to be getting, and the face print underneath kind of resembles Sebastian Shaw, which is also fantastic, and we don't even see his face in the show, I believe, so the fact that it's even here is just amazing as well. And you can see he also has the neck attachment in white as well to go with the helmet, so that is great, and he even includes his white cape, which is also just a really nice detail. The torso printing looks amazing as well. I like getting like the lights in like green and blue to kind of show that he's on like the light side, and you can see on the back he has a fantastic back torso print. The arm printing looks amazing as well. It's very similar to the Darth Vader minifigures, so I like getting that as well. It's like something that I feel like for a $180 set you should expect, so that is fantastic to be getting. And he also includes some leg printing, which is also great to get. There's no side leg printing, so it looks a bit weird from some angles, but still just great to be getting leg printing nonetheless. And his accessory is a blue lightsaber, since this is Jedi Vader, so that's also great to be getting. And overall, this is just such a fantastic minifigure. It's something I really thought we'd never see in like an official set, so just so amazing. And this is arguably one of the best minifigures of the set. I think I kind of go between like Darth Jar Jar and Jedi Vader, but either way, a fantastic minifigure. Overall, I think the minifigure selection here is very solid, but for $180, I think we could have gotten a few more minifigures. Like, there's a lot of dark side characters in Rebuild the Galaxy when the Dark Falcon shows up, so we could have got, like, Darth Nubs or Darth Rose Tico, and I think there's, like, a Darth Hammerhead alien, so some of those minifigures would have been nice to get here, and also some of these minifigures just aren't the most high quality. Like, the no dual molded leg on C-3PO really sucks, and the no pupils on Rey also sucks, but still, for the most part, a fantastic minifigure selection. Taking a look at the Dark Falcon now, like right off the bat, I just love the color scheme of this set. Like it's mostly black, but there's like little bits of gray as well as like a lot of red, and there's like a tiny little bit of green. Just all like comes together so well. And even if you really don't like this set, I think there's no denying that. Like just the whole like color scheme of it just looks amazing, and like every little detail I just love a lot. But we'll start with the side panel here. You can see there's like a little paintbrush piece being used there, as well as like some red pieces and gray pieces. But this panel right here is a bit loose compared to the other ones because it's like just connected by clip pieces, and it kind of like wiggles around. Hasn't fallen off of me yet, but like that is something that could happen. This piece also looks great here with these different like pole pieces and grill pieces, so I like that a lot as well. This panel right here is by far my favorite, not only because there's a bit of gray in there with that panel, but this section here has a Death Star laser, which I think is such a cool concept. It doesn't actually like destroy a planet in the show or anything, but I love this so much. I think it's like, again, such a funny concept to have. And you can see there's some pieces in there that you could add on to make like a bigger Death Star laser, and you can see it's using like a battle droid arm, and it's on a ball joint, so it can move around quite a bit, and I really like that. Also, this panel here is a lot stronger compared to the other one because it's using like a pole piece and also like a clip, so that one's definitely not going to fall off unless you like really pulled and like grip the whole side section off, so I do appreciate that, and I really love the Death Star laser. The very front of this set looks very similar to the other Millennium Falcons from years past, and I think this is very cool. I like the little bits of gray on like the very front of that panel there. On the side, there's a lot of interesting pieces there being used to make some really cool textures and stuff, and you can see that there is some like headlights in the front using some translucent pieces, so that is also very nice. And inside, you'll see that there is actually like a little flick fire missile. You don't really flick it, but you just kind of push down on it, and it'll fire off, and you get two of those, so that is very cool. Works like any other Millennium Falcon, really, but that's very nice to be getting. And again, the color scheme on here is just really cool. I like the different translucent pieces and the red pieces, and while again it's nothing like that insane compared to other Millennium Falcons, it's still very cool. In the middle of the set, you can see there's different pieces being used here. You can also see some stickers and some gray bricks also being used to add some more color, so I like that a lot. And on the other side, you can see there's some similar details, but it is different for the most part. There's another sticker, some more bricks, and again, those same like gray pieces. So that is very nice. And you can see in the middle section here, you get the turret on top of the sticker on that, as well as a red kind of like sticker there, which also looks really great. And this cannon can kind of like rotate. And you can also see that inside, there's room to see two minifigures in this little section here that can be removed. So that is really great. And I like the pieces being used for like the little handlebars. I think that's very clever, and that just slides in there. So that is nice to be getting here. And it's very similar to other Millennium Falcons, but still very cool to be getting here. And on this, the whole cannon's on a ball joint as well, so that's also very nice. And overall, really cool build, and I just like all the little details around it too, using some like Technic pieces and stuff. The back section is also using some very cool pieces. You can see there's like a slope piece here, and the stickers are a bit different from the 2019 Millennium Falcon. There's no hole in the middle of them now, and I like that a lot. And you can see it's also very sturdy like the other panels with like a pole in the middle, so that is very nice. And overall, this panel here is just amazing with some very cool pieces and colors. The middle panel can open up very nicely, and you also get those same very nice stickers on there. there, as well as some paintbrush pieces, which looks great. And the other panel on the side to that also looks very nice, using some gray bricks and even those same stickers and these black slope pieces as well. Those all look amazing and just add a lot of nice texture to it. But I love the stickers on the back, and the red translucent thrust also looks incredible here. I just love how they're able to angle that, and like again, seeing all those translucent pieces just incredible, and the wire pieces being used like all around. Just I love this back section so much, and there's so much color in it. I really like that. The side of the set is using some very interesting pieces, like for instance, you can see a phone piece being used there, as well as a grill piece there. And you can see on this side there's a roller skate piece being used, as well as some more grill pieces, and you can also see that beautiful translucent red thrust on the back that I showed you earlier. This side's once again using a phone piece as well as a binocular piece, and I like the use of all these different colored bricks inside all the black bricks, so that is very cool, and it makes a very nice color scheme as well. You can see on the top here there's a bunch of stickers being used, which also look great, and I really love the like red trim here using all those different red bricks. The top also has some very nice colors, and the cockpit is just beautiful. All the prints on there just look absolutely incredible, and you can see there's like an arrow there, as well as like the front is like a little bit of gray, and this came in like its own separate packaging too, so it's not scratched at all. So I really like that, and this whole cockpit just looks beautiful. And you can see when that cockpit's added back on, the whole set itself is just gorgeous. I love this so much. Like I said, like the bits of red and gray, as well as like the little bits of green, it just look all so clean. I really appreciate that. The bottom of the set is really nothing special. Like you're not going to be looking at it from this angle, but you can see that all the landing gear is very sturdy, using some Technic pieces, so I appreciate that. And you can also see you get another cannon on the bottom here on a ball joint. No sticker detail or anything, but you do get that, and it's using some very nice pieces as well. And overall, again, you're not going to be looking at the set from the bottom, but there is some nice red translucent pieces too. So overall, again, nothing special, but still very cool. Opening the setup is extremely simple. In the front section, you just have to put that like panel down first, and then you can open up whichever one you want. The back section doesn't matter which one you open up first, but you can see that piece does get stuck there, so that is something you have to like kind of worry about, because then like when you want to put it down, you have to kind of like angle it around that, so that can get a bit frustrating, but it's really not that bad. And the rest just open up very simply, so that is very cool, and then you get access to the interior. In the front of the set, you can see there's a throne, which is used by Darth Dev in the show, but let's be honest, it should be used by Darth Jar Jar. You can see it's very well built. There's plenty of room to fit like Darth Jar Jar's head mold or like a cape, and there's a red clip on the back so it can attach to the set. There's a red like kyber crystal or Sith holocron on the back. We never see that in the show, but it is a cool Easter egg nonetheless. And you can see you just grab your minifigure. Obviously, it has to be Darth Jar Jar, and you place him on the studs, and you can see he perfectly fits with that big head mold and like his accessories and stuff. And you just slide him on in there. And let's be honest, this is peak Lego Star Wars. I don't think Lego will ever beat what we see here. But all jokes aside, you can see Darth Jar Jar is actually looking at a screen, and on that screen there's 3 separate stickers, which look very cool. There's nothing like really translated or anything, but you can see there's like different knobs and buttons and some very cool colors and like shapes and angles and stuff. So that is cool, and it's just a cool screen to have Darth Jar Jar looking at. To the left of Darth Jar Jar, you can see there's 2 beds for characters to lay down on. There's some very cool pieces being used to kind of like resemble the cushion, so that is very nice. And there's also a clip on the side here that you can place like your extra flick fire missile, or maybe like put a lightsaber there. It's up to you, but you do get that, and you can also place a minifigure down on those studs there, so that is cool, and they work very well. And it's kind of funny, since normally these like cushions would be in like the back of the Millennium Falcon, but since it's like a reversed evil version, now they're like in the front. So I just find that funny, and I think it's kind of like a cool Easter egg for people that like really know the like kind of shaping and like where everything is in the Millennium Falcon. Down the hall, you can see there's a green surfboard, which is definitely meant for Beach Luke, and you can just take that off the wall. I don't think we ever see it in the show, but it is still there, and it's a pretty cool Easter egg. And you can take that off the wall and kind of give it to Beach Luke as an accessory if you wanted to. On Darth Jar Jar's right, you can see there's really nothing at all. Like, it kind of sucks. There's just a lot of empty space, like nothing built, no Easter eggs, no like storage for parts or anything. It's just completely blank. And you can see right here there's a piece that kind of holds in the like panel, but other than that, it's just really empty, which sucks, especially since the other side at least had like a bed for some characters. So I would have liked to have seen something. But down the hall, you can see there's like a little panel, and you can lower that down so minifigures have access to enter and exit the Dark Falcon. So that is cool, but honestly, it's not very practical. Like, if you actually wanted to put a minifigure in, it's like so low to the ground that you really can't even fit like minifigures in there unless you lifted it up, and even then it's just not that fun. So that is unfortunate. Like, you can see lowering it down, it's pretty much impossible to put a minifigure in. When you lift it up, you just pick the minifigure up and just place him in the Falcon, kind of like shove him in there. So again, not very practical, but it is an option if you wanted to do that. This section here is by far my favorite of the interior. You can see you get 2 chairs with 2 stickers, and this time it's actually not a couch, so I find that pretty funny. But you can see there's a TV as well as a little table here with a video game controller, so you just grab a minifigure and then you can grab the controller and place it in the minifigure's hand. And on the TV there's actually a game of Dedrick, which is pretty funny. You can see you get a sticker for that with like the different creatures and animals, so that's very awesome. There's also a case for the game. You can see there's some Arabic on there. I'm not quite sure what it translates to, but you do get that, and that is very cool. But my favorite Easter egg in this section by far is the fact that they're playing this on a PS5, at least what I think is a PS5. You can see it has the same color scheme and same shaping and everything, and I just find that so funny. Like, I feel like the designers had a lot of creative freedom with this set, because the only thing in the interior that we actually see in the show is just the throne, so all of this is like completely new, and I find that very, very funny. And like I said, this section is just my favorite of the set. I think there's so many cool Easter eggs, and it just feels like such a chill area. You can see you get a hyperdrive in this set, this time with like a sticker in red, which looks pretty cool. There's also an engine piece being used and some gold pieces on the side. There's also a pretty cool looking like brown curved piece, and overall it's a pretty cool color scheme for it, and I like that a lot. In front of the hyperdrive, you can see there's a prison cell, and it looks pretty cool. I like the different translucent red pieces being used and the black pieces, and there's also a seat for one of your minifigures, and again, I think it looks pretty cool, but the one thing I don't like is that it's not fully enclosed. Like, you can see the top section here, there's some pretty big gaps, and I can literally stick my finger inside of it. I don't know, just I'm not a big fan of that. Like, take one of your minifigures like Jedi Vader, for example, and then you lock him up, and you can see like the top of his head is fully exposed there. Like, it looks cool, but again, like, you can see like the top of his head is like a lot more white compared to like the rest of the cell, and just kind of takes you out of it. I just really wish it was fully enclosed. It just looks a bit weird in my opinion. I wish it was fully enclosed, and I made sure I didn't build it wrong. Like, I legit checked, and like it didn't, so I'm not a huge fan of that. Would have liked if it was fully enclosed. Obviously, it's kind of a nitpick, but still would have liked to have seen that. But you can see on the side that there is like a black curve piece there, and you can see a better look at Jedi Vader kind of in the prison cell. Right here you get a box, and opening it up inside you'll find a Booma, which is the accessory that Darth Jar Jar has as well, so that is pretty cool, and there's 3 more Boomas around it as well, and just sits on that stud there. But for the most part, this whole section here is pretty empty. Like, there's basically nothing. Like, I don't know, I feel like for a $180 set you would expect something, but there is nothing. Like, you just have that little Booma section there, the prison cell in front of it, and like the rest is just empty. So obviously you could have your minifigure standing there having a conversation, but I don't know, just something would have been nice, especially since the other side has like a very cool gaming section. Like, they could have put like some Easter egg in here, so I would have appreciated that, especially given the price of the set. You can also remove the cockpit, and inside you'll find room to seat 2 minifigures, as well as some dark red grill pieces there, and a lever that can be moved back and forth, which is really nice. And you also get a print, one of the more generic ones that's been used in a lot of Lego Star Wars sets, but still nice to get that. Obviously, it's nothing crazy for like a Millennium Falcon interior, but you also get room for 2 minifigures, like I was saying, so you can get Darth Rey, as well as your Darth Dev minifigure, really anyone you want, but these are the 2 I like to put in there, and you can also move their capes out of the way, because they do kind of get in the way a little bit. After that, you can just put the cockpit piece back on, and you can see they look really sick in there with like translucent red color on them. It definitely makes the set feel like a dark side Millennium Falcon. But there is also a little section behind the cockpit that can be moved out of the way, and it doesn't take you like any secret hidden room or anything, but it is still like technically part of the interior. You can kind of see the inner workings of the set. Again, nothing special, but I thought I would just show you that since we are taking a look at the interior. But overall, I'm a huge fan of all the different rooms in this set, especially the gaming room, and there's just so many cool Easter eggs spread throughout it as well, which I just really love, and overall I'm a huge fan. But that's going to do it for my review on the Lego Star Wars Dark Falcon. Overall, I actually really like this set. This color scheme has won me over, and I love all the different building techniques and like the different pieces used to kind of make the textures of the set. And the minifigure selection here is just absolutely legendary. But I do think this is a set definitely meant for the fans. Like, if you didn't watch Rebuild a Galaxy and don't really care about this set, this is one definitely that you could easily pass up on. But I feel like if you're a diehard Lego Star Wars fan, you need Darth Jar Jar, you need this legendary set that will probably never be made again. And I feel like it's definitely worth picking up on that aspect. And I definitely would give this set an 8.5 out of 10. It's almost perfect, just has a few flaws here and there with the minifigures and the set itself, but still very cool and definitely worth picking up on a set without a doubt. But let me know in the comments down below what you think of this set if you plan on picking it up. And thank you so much for watching this review. I truly do appreciate it, and I hope you enjoyed this review, and have an incredible day. Bye.